Coming up this week on Winchester's Deadly Passion, Melissa Bachman heads to Iowa in search of those legendary monster whitetails. It's taken her 4 years to draw a tag, but she's finally on stand, and the bucks are circling. The rut is on, bucks are on the move, and her decoy is working like a charm. We're talking 10 yards of adrenaline-pumping action right at the base of her tree stand.
All coming up next on Winchester's Deadly Passion.
As a whitetail hunter, Iowa is one of the premier destinations. And one of the reasons why? Well, it is extremely tough to get a tag. In fact, it has taken me 4 years to draw, but now I finally have a tag in my pocket and I'm headed to Iowa right before the peak of the rut. Regardless of where you're hunting, when your day starts off with deer coming out of every direction, you know things are going to be good. And that's exactly how the start of my Iowa hunt went. I was sitting on stand and literally every direction I looked, there were deer coming. Bucks one way, does with their mouths open. It was amazing. Now I was thinking I was going to be there a little bit before the rut, but the amount of activity I was seeing, these deer were up, on the move, and things were going on. Now today we're set up, we've got a bean field this way and I'm actually set up on a ridge and it's kind of catching the deer between going from food, going to bed for the afternoon. Now right next to me is a really thick area and the bucks are going through that, but I'm hoping they come out into this little bit of a clearing so I can get a shot. It's gonna be tight in here, but these bucks are just starting to rut, so we've got a lot of pre-rut activity, so I think it's gonna be a great week. We've got cold temperatures and we're on an incredible area. So finally it's here, it's time to hunt Iowa bucks, so now I'm gonna sit down and get hunting. When using a decoy, you get a wide variety of footage, and a lot of different things can happen in the field. But this was something I had never seen before. A small buck came into my decoy, and instead of going to the front and fighting it like a man, well, he went behind it and started sniffing it. I was almost laughing up in the tree, and I couldn't believe this buck, he couldn't get enough. I put my decoy out and didn't put all the washers in like you're supposed to, and he sort of broke in half. Not how it would work if you did it right, but this deer, he didn't care. I think he was trying to size it up and, well, maybe make it right for what he had just tried to do. But finally, he decided to move on. I went down, put my decoy back together, and this was something you don't see every day. When you're out hunting, the weather, well, it can change in an instant. And usually when that change is coming, it gets the deer up and moving. And that's exactly what was happening. The weather was getting worse. All of a sudden, it started sleeting. Now, it didn't get too bad, but what it did do is get the big bucks up and moving. As I sat there, I saw something going through the brush, and all I could see was time. He was probably at 80, 90 yards, and I could see his rack tines, split twos, just a beautiful buck. But he never would come in close enough. But what it did do, well, it got my hopes up knowing there was a shooter in the area.
Winchester's Deadly Passion is presented by Winchester, the American legend. Matthews, catch us if you can. Cuddyback Digital. Bog Pod, versatility defined. Easton, expect the best. Winchester Repeating Arms. and hunter safety system.
I love hunting during the rut, but one of the most difficult parts is getting the bucks to actually stop. So today I decided to put my decoy out, and I've actually got them kind of quartering to my stand. I've got my tree stand set up there, and it should bring these deer in close. Now, as I sat on stand, this was an absolute hot spot. I had all sorts of deer moving around, and two big bucks caught my eye. I looked over and there was a hot doe in the area too, and that's what that buck was following around. He wasn't interested in my decoy. He wanted nothing to do with it. All he wanted to do was follow her. So I decided it's a waiting game. I'm just gonna have to wait it out and hope that she's gonna wanna come down to my area. This big buck, he knew the decoy was there, he heard the grunts, but he was not looking for a fight, at least not yet. I thought maybe luck was on my side. I had done enough grunts, and this buck was obviously getting mad. He was raking the tree, and he started coming my way. Now he was at 70 yards, and he was just outside of the shooting range. A big, beautiful, heavy 8, and you could really tell he was a nice, old, mature deer, but he just didn't want to come by me, and that doe won. He didn't want to fight, he wanted her instead. So, as he walked away, well, that was basically it for him. But that wasn't the end of my hunt. There was another buck that I had seen with really long tines. He started making his way towards me. As he came right by where that big heavy 8 was, he walked broadside right in front of my stand. This buck was at 70 yards, but there was a little bit of wind and I wasn't gonna try. It was pretty exciting to see all the bucks in Iowa. I knew it was supposed to be a great state for hunting, but I had no idea the number of deer you'd see all day.
Tip of the Week is brought to you by Can-Am ATVs and side-by-side vehicles.
As an avid whitetail hunter, I've been lucky enough to hunt deer all over the country. But regardless of where I'm hunting, one thing is certain. A whitetail's best defense, it's his nose. Studies show that a whitetail can smell 1,000 times better than us. So it is critical to take as much precaution as possible before you even enter the woods. This goes for scouting, hunting, and even checking cameras. One of the great things about the Scent Killer Gold with the Hunt Dry technology is the fact that you can spray your clothes down up to weeks before going out hunting. You simply spray them, get them completely soaked, let them dry, and then place them in an airtight bag, and when you go out hunting, you will be completely ready. It really makes it nice and easy in the field. You can do it back at your cabin, you can do it before you even go out, and now there's no hassle in trying to spray down. Plus, you still get the great technology and you can stay scent-free out in the field. Why not give yourself the edge and do everything possible to keep your scent to a minimum? After all, you may only get one crack at that buck, so give Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry technology a try. Apply it, dry it, and go hunt.
Winchester's Deadly Passion is presented by Swarovski Optic, North American Hunting Club,
Rage Broadheads, Golden Triangle Whitetail, Can-Am ATVs and side-by-side vehicles, Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry technology, and
M&P Advanced by Design.
Now, we had been trying a lot of different stand locations. I would move when the wind was changing, trying to get an idea of kind of what were my favorite spots. Now it was the last day of my hunt. This is the spot I wanted to go to for the afternoon sit. So we were coming in with a tree stand, all the gear, set it down at the tree to kind of regroup and put it up, and we had a buck come running right into me with my decoy laying up against the tree. Now I think that's a pretty good sign that your decoy's working when he can be laying up against the tree and still trick a buck. He did realize something wasn't quite right, probably too much junk out in the woods, and decided to spin around and go back. But it kind of confirmed my idea that maybe this is the spot we should have been hunting the entire time. We were just setting up, haven't even put our stuff up in the tree yet. Leaned the decoy up against the tree, and the little buck spotted that decoy, came right in. I'm on the ground, I've got stuff scattered all over the place, but that shows you right there just how awesome it is right now. That is great. We're hitting it perfect, and I really like this area. It's wide open. It's an area where the bucks can see our decoy. We can get up high. I know there's some rub lines, there's some scrapes over there, so I'm hoping to get this decoy out, get up in the tree, and hopefully have a little more luck. What a great start to this sit. We literally had bucks coming in from every angle after this. I had a buck coming in from behind, one on the other side, and they were all circling my decoy. Now these weren't necessarily shooters, but these deer, they were on the move and they were very curious. Bucks during the rut, they don't want to be still. They don't want to lay down. They are ramped up. It's once a year. They're ready to get up and fight or find the does. Well, I'm sorry boys, but I think I'm going to have to use this weakness against you. Now one of the main reasons I like using a decoy is because it brings the deer exactly where you want them. But another thing it does, well, when it brings other bucks in, now you've got double the decoys down there. So you've been rattling, grunting, snort wheeze, you've got real live decoys down below, and that sometimes is exactly what you need to draw in the very big boys. Now as this buck started coming into my decoy, well, I could tell he was looking for a fight. He was walking back and forth, not quite big enough to be a shooter. Now he looked good, and next year, well, he'll probably be a giant. But I just couldn't decide to pull back on my bow because even though it was the last day, it's not exactly what I came to Iowa for, and I wasn't gonna change my standards on the last day just because it's the last day. If there was ever a question of maybe you should take the shot, well, it was definitely going through my head at this time. But I decided I'm gonna let him walk, and as he ran up, I decided now's the time to hit the antlers, snort, wheeze, grunt, do a little sequence, and that might just use that real buck running off as the perfect decoy to bring in the big boy. sure if this big wide buck had been watching the entire thing, but when I hit those antlers together, did that sequence, that brought him right in. He got closer, he slowed down and was eyeballing that decoy. My heart was racing. He's coming right in and has no idea we're there. Until he gets close, he suddenly stops and looked up right at me. Absolute giant buck come in. We just got set up. I hit the grunt call just a couple of times and he came just bolting out from the side. He came right in, looked perfect coming into my decoy. And I don't know if he smelled something or what, but he looked right up at me, spooked a little bit. I did not have much of a clear shot, but I saw a little opening, thought I could make it through it, and I snapped a branch right in half. It looked like it was going perfect.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the 4-in-1 Woodsman from Zippo Outdoor.
It's our last morning in Iowa and the weather has really got warm. Now yesterday, well, we had some incredible action here. In fact, we're in the exact same spot where I hit the branch on that big 8. So I'm hoping we can get in there. We only can hunt till noon. I'm already supposed to be in South Dakota, but I've extended this trip in Iowa because the hunting here, well, it's just been too good. My whole body is just shaking. We saw that buck. He came in and he was right on our decoy. I had some brush in my way, the same branches as yesterday, but this time I waited. Oh, that was so awesome. It is the last morning and I really am not even supposed to be here anymore, but I stayed one more morning. Just an awesome buck. That decoy has just been incredible. I use Dave Smith decoys. There is nothing better than calling these bucks in. I mean, it's awesome. I love whitetail hunting and whitetail hunting with a decoy and call them in. Pretty sure I'm shaking the entire tree right now. Well, I've given the buck a little time. The sun's just starting to come up, but but I'm gonna go down. I did not get a full pass through, but I got him right behind the shoulder. Looks like it was a really good shot, so I'm just gonna go check where I saw him last. My guess is I don't think he went far at all. What an awesome buck. Look at the time length on this. I was so shook up when he came into my decoy. I don't know if I could have told you how big he is, but look at this. Just a beautiful buck. I've been waiting 4 years to come hunt Iowa. Hunted all week, had some incredible encounters. Things just didn't quite work out, but as soon as I got that decoy out, wow, was it fun. We called this buck in and numerous other ones. The coolest part is they just come in and they're completely focused on the decoy. I could hardly even breathe. I think I held my composure for the shot, but afterwards, I pretty much lost it. Oh, just nice to see all your hard work pay off. We stuck it out, and I'm taking home a beautiful Iowa buck.